Hey man, I heard you're pretty important around these parts. I wanted to ask you something.
What are you trying to achieve?
Um, I'm about to speak my thoughts about like perfect parries and perfect parry anti-airs, and people get like so defensive about it. If you said something that you don't like you're a crybaby, you're whiny. I mean, you know how it is.
Believe in the path you've chosen.
Yeah, and wait, you told me you were homeless. How do you have a radio, anyways? Street Fighter 6 brought with it many changes to the traditional Street Fighter formula. There is a tier system to the fireballs and how the durability interacts, and there is obviously like the drive mechanics. And trust me, I had my fair share of like the negativity arc about this game, about like me not liking Drive Rush, and I know like these videos are super popular, everyone. I'm tired. I have learned to accept the game the way it is, and I had a lot more fun once I did that. But there's still one thing that for me it still doesn't sit that well with me. Yeah, it's perfect parry anti-airs, and I know what you're gonna say. Mura, you can just empty jump and then grab them, you get a punch counter throw, and yeah, that obviously is the answer. But let me explain. So recently in modern fighting games, I'm seeing a lot of discussions about 50-50s, 50-50 being very common, and in general I feel like there are two types of fighting game players. There is the one that think fighting games are all about the mix-ups and mind games, and that all fighting games should be, and there are some very big games with a lot of followers that like have this philosophy. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, people love it, right? In Third Strike you can jump in and block their anti-air and then punish them, or you can even like obviously anti-air with a parry. I mean, that works there, and it's totally fine if you love that. By the way, I'm just talking about my own personal preferences because I personally don't. I think there should be a little bit of certainty, and let me explain, right? There is two types of, there are multiple types of mix-ups. Say that Terry did a combo on you and he got a knockdown, and now he got to have his Oki. Do you block, or is he gonna go for a grab shimmy? And that is a very common mix-up, and I don't think this mix-up really annoys people that much because it's earned. Even for a character like Manon, who's a grappler, she got a knockdown, now she's close to you, you got a guess. I feel like for the most part, these type of mix-ups are okay because they are earned. There are other type of mix-ups, 50-50s, like say Fireball Drive Rush, which is like middling because there is still some technicality and nuisance to it. Like, yeah, it depends a little bit on the range, and maybe you can perfect parry, and if you got a perfect parry, then you can get a punish, and it's somewhat guaranteed depending on the distance. So there is give and take. You know what I'm saying? There is like, it's not like a flat out 50-50, but then you do have some flat out 50-50s mix-ups that just are there because the character exists. For example, Cammy can just hold a forward. If you happen to try to anti-air her, great. Maybe then she does a dive kick and then you get punished. Is this like an earned 50-50? Not really, it's just like a 50-50. It happens because Cammy held up forward. And the same thing was like a drive rush that maybe then like you try to shake them, but they go for like a suppressor type move and now you get punished. And people generally who love like mix-ups and think like mind games are all that matters, they don't mind that at all. And I'm talking again from my own POV, right? This is something where it kinda because I do still love like I don't mind mix-ups as long as they are somewhat earned, like the opponent earns the situation. And unfortunately, when it comes to perfect parry anti-airs, it's kind of middling. Take for example a character like Ken. Ken does have like a DP anti-air, and this is like a legitimately great tool because he can whiff something and then he still is able to anti-air you with an uppercut. And I don't think that annoys people that much, right? But the thing is, in this game, this is Street Fighter 6, remember, Oki positioning and achieving the win condition of getting your opponent to the corner is more important. So if Ken anti-airs you with the uppercut, he does get a knockdown and he does get a sort of a situation, but he's not like in throw range and he doesn't have like amazing frame data to enforce a great mix-up, not that much of a corner carry. So the situation isn't that great. Typically he's gonna have to drive rush, and this is worse if he used something like a crouching heavy punch, because it's just a reset you. Not a great situation. But if he gets a perfect parry anti-air, now he gets to do a full combo. It is scaled, it's not gonna do a lot of damage, but he carried you to the corner and now you have to get throw looped. Guess for the game, baby. And it's not just Ken, like other characters, for example Manon, right? She can anti-air with a crouching heavy punch and she can get sort of okay out of that, which is, I mean, that's okay. But if she got the perfect parry anti-air, now she does have one more medal, and her next command grab, or just the instant she's closer to you, she's gonna do a lot more damage, either on hit or on a command grab. And that is why Capcom is always afraid of buffing Manon. Simply because of perfect parries, alright? Because they are certainly achievable in this game. And even a character like Bison, who do have an amazing like crouching heavy punch anti-air that can give him a knockdown, can give him a good knockdown, and he gets to press his advantage. Even if he got like a perfect parry, he will get a combo here, and then he will get to put on the bomb, and now he achieved his win condition. Next mix-up might do a ton of damage. So like in many cases, just going for the perfect parry anti-air can honestly be a lot more rewarding than the regular anti-air. What do you guys think? You're convinced? I hope so. If you like the video but you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Over 70% of my viewers aren't, so you get to see more of me and my friends, the EX-Men. And yes, like in my canon, Magneto is I recruited him. Excuse the silliness and enjoy the rest of your video. I feel like I need to explain this more a little bit, because otherwise it's gonna be like, this guy complains about perfect parries, get good. But there's still like a lot more to like the whole situation, and let me explain myself, right? So say in this game, jumping attacks have a lot of active frames. Typically like the jumping attack will have 5, 6, 7 active frames, and that's a lot more than the grounded normal. And because the jumps and jumping attacks in general are a lot more predictable when it comes to timing, it's a lot easier to get the perfect parry. A lot of active frames and perfect parries are instant, so like you can reliably get them like fairly commonly, I will say. And when you do, you will most likely get the punish counter. And I do think that this takes some nuisance out of the game. Say for example, this is like a Guile matchup, right? Guile from mid-screen throws a light boom. The next boom, if you try to jump it, he get to flash kick, right? This is traditional Guile. But if he does like a medium or a heavy boom, now you can actually jump and be able to block his flash kick in time. This is a little bit of like the good old traditional Guile matchup. But in this game, you can get the jump in on him and he did a bad boom, and instead of like, I don't even want him to get like punished, but at least you earn the jump in, right? Like you earn the right to have some plus frames against him, but nope, he perfect parries and now like you're the one who got punished. And this happens in other situations as well, where like say Bison with the heavy punch, you just missed the punish window and now he gets to perfect parry and now you get punished. I don't think this particularly feels good, and I understand like it is a mix-up, and Mura, you can just empty jump and get a punish, like like I get that, but it still doesn't sit that well with me. And here is the thing, here is the kicker, right? And I explained this in a video prior, but you can absolutely perfect drive rush instead of trying to go for a tap parry. And what will happen here is, if they did the jumping attack, you got the perfect parry, you got the punish. If they didn't, you will get a raw drive rush instead, meaning that you will get counter hit thrown and not punish countered. So you pretty much got the best of both worlds. If they went for the attack, you got the punish. If you didn't, you still didn't get punished that harshly. You can even just hold parry instead of like tabbing it and try to react, because typically most people don't like empty jump into immediate throw, because that can lose to like delay button. So you can even do that and you're still like safe. So it's not like a complete commitment unless like you go for tap parry. If you go for hold parry or the OS, more likely than not you can make that perfect parry attempt safer. You're getting punished, but it's just a regular grab. I don't hate, like it's very rewarding. So I know that this this video is kind of like just me explaining my thoughts, something that I personally feel like it just doesn't sit that well with me. Like I understand that they want to make the perfect parry rewarding because it's an element that have some risk to it. Like instead of going for the guaranteed damage for the anti-air, you are going for an element with some element of risk. So maybe it needs to be rewarding a little bit, but now that every combo like carries you to the corner, especially with a character like Ken, he can like back throw you into the corner or like forward combo you into the corner. It doesn't feel that good. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you like perfect parry anti-airs? Do you absolutely hate them? I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.